Okay, it's a new year, but the same people are threatening me. So once again, we have to go over this. Adonis Paul has apparently put out a threat against me. And I don't know what specifically it is because I don't watch his channel. I finally figured out that I don't have to watch content that hurts me. Just because people are talking about me or using my content to exploit me and to hurt me doesn't mean I have to watch it and hurt myself by watching it. And so I chose a few years ago that I'm not going to watch it anymore. And because he knows that I don't watch his content, he sends out his followers to let me know, hey, he's talking about you. Hey, he's threatening you again. What are you going to do about it? So I got a comment letting me know that, well, the statement is, Adonis Paul is a man of his word. Is he though? Is he a man? Does he have a word that he should be honorable to? And is he honorable to his word? Because in the last 6 years, I have found that he is not. So what word is Adonis Paul sticking to and doubling down on this year? Is it the one where he said, well, let's just go through the things that he's accused me of over the last 6 years, because there's a lot. Because when this first started, his word was he was going to expose me as a murderer, a hardcore drug addict, an abuser, and somebody who is faking their mental health conditions to leech off of the government, and he's going to expose that. So is that what he's still honoring his word on? Because y'all proved that I smoke marijuana. Sure, I'm in California. Marijuana is about to be reclassified to be the same as Tylenol. Not a hardcore drug. And in the first year that this was happening, they had people actively following me to prove these things. They had people that would follow me to the dispensary and then cause problems for me at the dispensary that I go to, trying to make it so that nobody would sell me legal products in California, stalking me, watching me, following me, reporting back to Adonis Paul, hey, she went to the dispensary again, or she went to McDonald's, or she went to Domino's. They followed me everywhere to prove that I was somehow getting hardcore drugs, and they never saw me pick up any. They never saw me meet with anybody. They never saw me do anything but go to a legal dispensary in California. So, but they still tell you that I'm a hardcore drug addict. That's what I am. It's not mental health problems, it's drugs. Except the only drug I'm on is THC and my mental health medication. So he said also he was going to prove that my family's not abusive. My aunt has a channel here on YouTube where she is actively cyberbullying me. How the fuck are you going to prove that she's not abusive? And I get maybe, he made a mistake in the first year. he sided with the wrong team. Well, if you're going back on those statements, then you're not a man of your word, are you? Because you've changed your word. If it's not the same as what you were saying 6 years ago, then you have changed your word. And so now saying, well, I'm a man of my word, I'm going to stick to what word? What you said 6 years ago or what you said yesterday, which might be completely different from what you said 6 years ago. I don't know. I stopped listening because you were derogatory and belittling and abusive towards me specifically, and it was hurting me, mentally hurting me. The first year that this started was a nightmare for my mental health. Because not only was this man and his thousands of followers targeting me, lying about me, exploiting me, my abusive family was suddenly back in my life. And the things that my aunt said in those first year made it so clear that my family is abusive, and still everybody was ignoring it. Because my aunt was literally saying shit like, well, actually, Mary's father was abusive because of Mary. Mary caused her entire family to get beaten, which fully overlooks the fact that I was born in a car because my father had beaten my mother the night before. My mother was on drugs when she had me because he had beaten her the night before, and the family gave her opioids for what they thought was a backache from a recent beating they were aware was actively happening while she was pregnant. This situation never should have happened. Kathy knew that my father was physically abusive to her sister, and she covered it up and lied about it, and she still covers it up and lies about it. That's why they contacted these people to humiliate and shame me into silence, because my finally having a voice pissed my family off. After 30 years of me not being able to speak out, I finally had a place where I could, and they needed me to go away. So they contacted these hate groups: Original Owl, Hat Man, Daywave Radio, Adonis Paul, to target me and take me down. And they failed. They said they were going to put me in prison for a murder that I was a witness to. They contacted the man that I put in prison. Like, they sent him pictures of me and updated information about me. And I know that they actually did that because they sent me a photo of the letter that they sent to him, to the prison. Now, I don't know that that letter got to him. They might have intercepted it before it reached him, because how the fuck are you actively telling a man in prison updates about the witness that put him in prison? How is that legal? Right? So I don't know for a fact that he got that, but I don't know for a fact that he didn't. And that fucked me up for a while. My family's involvement in my life again fucked me up for a while. They contacted my therapist and my doctors trying to have me put in a mental institution, because they didn't like that the government was paying for me to have my apartment. They said that if I was so mentally unstable that I couldn't take care of myself, I should be in an asylum. And then they also said that they were going to help my aunt take me to court to have custody of me as a fully grown adult given to her so that she could move me to Georgia and put me in a nursing home where she would pay the guards to regularly beat me so that I would be treated the way I deserve to be treated. These are all things that Adonis Paul said he was going to help my family do. He held a fundraiser and raised $1,500 targeting my brother's grave. My brother was handicapped. My father beat my mother the day my brother was born, to the point that my mother had to have an emergency C-section, and my brother was brain damaged and diagnosed with cerebral palsy. He would spend his entire life unable to walk, unable to speak, unable to control the movement of his limbs. And after he died, nobody in the family could afford to buy a headstone for him. For a decade, he didn't even have a proper grave marking. And then this man is going to target his grave and send people to urinate on his grave. He made a live stream titled, "Let's Go Pee on Bubba's Grave," and he raised $1,500 that night, targeting my disabled brother's grave. And now he wants people to forget that he said that. That was his word. Is he a man of that word? Did he honor that word? Did he go to my brother's grave yet? Because my aunt did. Somebody honored his word, but it wasn't him. Because he says that everything he says is a joke. It's satire. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Well, if it's not meant to be taken seriously, then what exactly are you saying you're going to be a man of honor for? You're gonna hold your honor on a joke? Or have you made a statement that you don't consider a joke? Or do you go back and forth? Well, this is serious, but this is a joke, but this is serious, but next week, if people don't like it, it was definitely a joke. There's no honor in that. There is absolutely zero honor in changing your word into a joke when people have a problem with it. Either you meant what you said when you said you were going to put me in prison. Either you meant what you said when you said you were not going to stop until you saw me homeless again, or you didn't mean it. Either way, you're not a man of honor about it if you're changing from day to day what your words mean. And I hate the concept. The entire concept of somebody saying, well, I'm a man, and so you can believe me. No, you're not. You're a human, sure. But if you're a human that needs to belittle and demean and attack people weaker than you to feel strong and manly, you're not a real man. Sorry. Real men don't need to do that. Real men can wake up in the morning and not need to go kick a puppy in the face to feel strong. That's not you. No, you're targeting women online. Adonis Paul doesn't just target women, he targets mentally unstable women online. He targets the most vulnerable females he can find and then calls himself a man. No, sir. You might be a human, but your actions have never shown you to be a man. And that goes for females too. That goes for women. If you're a woman who needs to wake up and put down another woman to feel pretty, you're not a real woman. Real women don't need to do that. They know who they are. And they can help lift up other women to know who they are, instead of the constant belittling, mean girl behavior of, oh, I can't feel pretty unless you're ugly. Unless I believe you're ugly and I make you feel ugly, I can't feel pretty. Fuck you. That's not what being a woman is. It's what being a human is. I will give you that you are a human, but you're not a man and you're not honorable. But I'm slightly curious exactly what threat he is trying to double down on, because I don't watch his content to even know what he's threatening me with this year. I wanted to add in a little thing. I meant to talk about this and I forgot, so it's an added thing. The entire concept of being a man kind of pisses me off, because it's so outdated that these bullies genuinely do believe that bullying equates to manliness, and it doesn't. My first spouse, okay, this is complicated. When I was 19, I married a man who, by the time I was 23, was transitioning into being a woman. Between those years, we had a very volatile relationship. I had come from a childhood where my father was extremely aggressive, dominating, the ultimate manly version of man. He was strong. He was a truck driver. He controlled his women and his children. You know, he was a man. And my first spouse had spent years going through gay conversion camps and mental hospitals and Christian treatment centers to fix them of their transgenderness and make them a man. And so when they married me, they believed that being like my father was the equivalent of being a man. And so that's why they were so controlling and domineering and aggressive over me. Drugs helped a little bit. They did inform me years later that they were on amphetamines. But the entire concept in that person's mind of what manliness was aggression, brutality, dominance, and anger. Genuine, just all the time anger. You know, like to be a man, you have to be the Hulk. You have to be angry all the time and then just use it to be a man and enforce your manliness. And it's so fucking stupid that I hate it. I've hated that concept ever since I was a kid. I've hated the concept of what makes a man, and I don't agree with it, and I don't believe in it. And so when these people are telling me that Adonis Paul is a man of his word, that says nothing to me, because I don't know what I do know what his version of a man is. I don't agree with what his version of a man is. So why would I care that he's going to be honorable to that version? It's you don't have to be a caveman to be a real man. Real men are caring. Real men are strong enough to actually care about other people. It's not a physical strength thing. Real men can be physically strong and use that physical strength to help build up their communities and build up their families and build up the people in their lives to be better human beings. But the concept of just being at the top of the hill, being a man, and pushing everybody else down, because that's what being a man is retaining your spot at the top, is so outdated. And it really needs to be done away with.